it's like the high employment percentage, right? And then you see that there are so many teachers without jobs in South Africa. But then, yes, for almost a year, and then I was like, okay, it's time to get to work now. I can't have this degree sitting here. Let me try and
Yeah.
run the boat. Like, let me try and run the shop and go to work. Like, to be honest, I hated the pay more than anything. you know, I hated.
Because I'm not getting anything. So now also the love is not really
Mhm.
there, like the person who did it from the foundation. And as a mother, I always think of my kids that how are you going to treat my kids?
Abroad. And then I remember I saw this lady who was in South Korea. So I was like, oh, actually, let me try South Korea. And then accounting, economics, and business.
Hello, colleagues. Welcome back to yet another episode of Career and Corporate Hub. Gadzina Ndifikodani Dwayo. I am so excited about today's episode. Well, I'm excited about all my episodes, but today's one is very close to my heart because I will be interviewing someone from South Africa. And, when I saw, I actually came across him on, I think on Instagram or YouTube. Living outside of South Africa, I was like, this is inspiring. I would really like to, understand or rather just unpack his story. Like he's currently working in Taiwan, and without really me giving much, let's welcome.
So, Tamiso, welcome to Career and Corporate Hub.
Hi, Kadani. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
You've got a lot of names. There's Tamiso, there's Logan, there's Rita. Like, which one is your name?
All right. Okay. I know, right? Like this one time my friend texted me on WhatsApp and then he called me on another name. I'm like, no, that's not my name. Come on. And then he was like, but because you have so many names. So Kamalam in Tabiso, and then my surname is Zita. But so since I had one name, my parents were like, go ahead, go name yourself. And I named myself Logan. So I'm Tabiso Logan Zita. And then running away from my students. So my students would find me. You know how students always know the teacher's name? So
Yeah, yeah.
they would find me on Instagram. And then I changed and then called myself by my clan's names. So on Instagram, Umziten is not even a clan's name. Like that name that they use Endaweni just to call you guys. Like, for instance, if Waka calls, they'll say, oh, Kozeni or things like that. So because Ngagazita, they used to call us Mziteni, Kwamziteni. So Mziteni is just that name from around the hood. And then Nkwinika is my clan's name. So Uzita Nkwinika. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was just running away from my students.
Because I saw your Instagram handle, I'm like Zita Muziteni. And
Yeah.
then I was that was your first name and then your second name Ziteni. Then when I asked for your email address to send you a blocker for this
Yeah.
interview, and then I see Tyrese, I was like, what is going on?
There's a friend of mine who thought for the longest time my surname was Mziteni. That is
That
hilarious.
was That's what I thought. I'm so
I
glad that
know.
now you know which one is your actual name. And I was actually going to ask about your students, but I want us to start, from your childhood, because I
Mhm.
believe that your childhood usually influence how you basically like you choose your career, you end
Mhm.
up somewhere, although your past does not define you, but somewhere somehow it has an influence. And looking at you, working outside of South Africa,
Mhm.
I mean that's like very brave. So who
I
is
know.
Tamiso Morgan Zita Zitani?
Pesheya on TikTok, it's Mziteni Pesheya. So people think, I know. All right, so like I've said, my name is Tabiso Gagazita. I am from a small village called Matsulu, in Bombela, like Nelspruit, which is in Pumalang. So yes, growing up, I grew up a young boy going to a school called a primary school by my house. Like it was like maybe 12 minutes walk. It's called Setlulile Primary School. And then I went there. It was nice, just like every child. Like primary school for me was nice. I loved school so much. I was involved in a lot of public speaking when I was in primary school, competitions. Like I recently, when I was home now, I went to my primary school, and one of the teachers who taught me, I think grade 5, she was still there. She reminded me how we won this other competition, and then we were supposed to go to Cape Town and all of those things. So I was that child.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to do everything when I was in high school, like primary school. Like if it was running, I was there. I remember I played rugby for some time. Like I was
Oh,
in the choir, I was in the debate team, I was head boy at some point. You know, I was head boy in grade 6 and grade 7.
yeah.
So it was pretty
Which is
cool.
which is actually a good thing. You know, one of my previous colleagues advised me that you must introduce your child to different sports when they are still young.
Yeah.
You know, they can choose what they love at some point. And for me,
Mhm.
you know, extramural activities are so expensive, especially in China. I think
Yeah.
about probably 60% of my salary goes into, you know, supporting my child's activities. And I was looking at the younger one like, you are not doing anything. He's 3 years, you are not doing anything, and your brother has got something. Monday tennis, Tuesday tutorials, because you know,
Mhm.
when we came here, he jumped a grade, so
Oh.
now like extra classes for
Mhm.
math. And when he's got everything, so now I'm like, this younger one must also have something. So when you're saying that, it really resonates with what I'm doing with my kids.
Yeah,
And
which is
look,
beautiful.
yeah,
It
so
is
looking at high
beautiful.
school,
Sorry?
yeah, definitely. And then looking at high school, which high school did you go to?
I went to Sibosisiwe High School, and then when I got there, I think when I was doing like now grade 9, I joined the debate team, and then which was the most amazing experience of my entire life. Like that was really nice. So I joined the debate team throughout my high school life, and then like
Mhm.
our coach was so amazing, Mr. Shabang. He was really good. So he would organize like tournaments for us with university students. So we'd go debate at the university level, and then so we'd get exposed to these amazing people, and then great knowledge as that, you know, like great conversations. Because I mean, you are in grade 10, you are conversing with somebody doing third year at university. So we would go for those, and then there'd be like training, like we'd have debate sessions every day. And
Yeah.
you know, when you do something that you love, would go home around 5 p.m. That was late for a school child, you know, back in South Africa. Because school would come out around 2. So now we
Mhm.
come out around 4, around 5, but it was never a problem because it was really great. So yeah, that was high school. I did
Yeah.
accounting, economics, and business. And then, you know, I was still like an okay child, you know, performing really well in my studies and still doing debate. So,
What do you mean an okay child?
no, I mean, like, I'd like to think I was not troublesome, you know? Um,
Okay.
I literally, like, this is all me and my friends did. Would go to school, and then on Fridays would take like long walks, like, and it would just be us young, doing just
Yeah.
laughing, you know, spending time together, and that was just it. So I think I was an okay child. I think, yeah, I think I was okay.
And looking at you know, debating, loving public speaking, how
Mhm,
did that influence, you know, your career choice when you chose what you were going to study in matric? I would like
mhm.
think that maybe you could have chosen something around those lines because of then your love for public speaking and debating.
hmm
Mhm.
Well, so at first I thought I'm gonna do LLB. They talk and talk and talk and talk, and then I realized that actually I don't know if it's somebody. I think, oh yes, I had a friend who was doing LLB, right? Nombuso. So Nombuso would say it's funny how people think LLB like it's just talking all the time, not realizing that 70% of the time you are researching, you are doing things, you know, like you are comparing cases, you know, like you are studying because you want your case to be, you know, and also to even get to that point, there's so much studying that you have to do. And
Yeah.
then, my time for varsity came. I did a Bachelor of Education in Accounting and Economics. At first, I was thinking, holidays, it's gonna be nice, and all of those things. And then I was thinking maybe I will branch into something like economics later in life, and then maybe I can use the business management somewhere else as well. So that's how I got into education. I was like, okay, it's fine. I didn't think much of the public speaking, of my experience with public speaking, but I was like, let me just do education. That's how I got there.
Ended up in education, and I'm quite glad that your journey started with education, like the foundation. My mother-in-law is or rather retired teacher, and we speak a lot about how education has came to, more especially with people who study a different qualification. They go and do like a post graduate, I think, or post something education certificate.
A postgraduate certificate in education, PGCE.
Yes. Without the foundation of of education, and she would tell me about what you learned from the foundation, and the expectation that of what you must deliver as a teacher. But now you having that certificate, you don't really get like the foundation. So that's what's also affecting our education system. So what do you think about that? Like, as somebody who studied education.
Well, I think, the 4 years, like, I understand where the PGCE is coming from, right? Because they would think, like, fine, you do have a degree and you had, so for instance, you're not supposed to do, you can't do a PGCE. Let's say maybe you did, I'm trying to think, maybe you did, what? Let's say
I did engineering.
Yes, if you did engineering, like chances of you getting like a PGCE are very low, because you need to have like at least majored in 2 teaching subjects. For instance, from your degree, you must have like English or math or tourism. Let's say you were doing something related to that, or economics and things like that. But to be honest, I think you can see the difference between like a PGCE teacher and one who did like the full 4 years, because I mean, like, you would have a course for the entire year of education training, and then maybe like the comfortability of being a teacher, like, because you would go and do a lot of practicals from first year. But of course it differs. There are PGCE teachers who are really great, and they're also the ones who did like a Bachelor of Education who still need some help, in their career. But generally, I think the Bachelor of Education like does a lot to shape a teacher.
Yeah, and for me, I'm also looking at it from a point of, a lot of students that are in matric currently, they don't know what to choose in terms of, their career when they go to university. And looking at the high unemployment rate in South Africa is something that we cannot run away from. And for me, if depending on the type of household you come from, you can't just choose a career where you might be stuck with that degree. I always influence, or rather encourage that you must network if you're doing a degree that has like a high percentage of unemployment rate. And what I love about the internet, information is there, and looking at the majority of people who studied like specific degrees and they go and do PGC, yes, then that can be researched. And right now, honestly, I would advise more people to study teaching, because there are a lot of teaching opportunities, not only in South Africa, but also outside of South Africa, And before we get to that, yes.
No, I was about to say that, well, I wouldn't advise for education. What I love about PGCE students is that they do have another qualification to fall back on, right? Let's say things don't work out, because you mentioned that you look at the high percentage rates, like the high employment percentage, right? And then you see that there are so many teachers without jobs in South Africa. But then if you have a PGCE, you are looking at 2 sides. It's not just the education, you are looking at 2 sides, unless though you don't want to stay in South Africa. Like, if you are comfortable with spreading your wings and go, then definitely go do that education degree.
Your world is your oyster, and I
You
think
know,
what most are looking for right now, they are looking for, like, if you've got a bachelor in education. I think things are really changing so fast
they
that
are. They are.
it's not just about having a PGC, and that is also coming from the quality of probably the service they're receiving. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, it also has a lot of cons, that somebody who did not do the foundation of, or rather just have like a bachelor of education, they also have that anger that, I'm teaching, yet this is not what I wanted. This was
Yeah.
not my
Yes.
primary, my primary choice, yet
Mhm.
I'm stuck here because I'm not getting anything. So now also the love is not really
Mhm.
there, like the person who did it from the foundation. And as a mother, I always think of my kids, that how are you going to treat my kids?
It differs, you know. I have friends here who did their PGCE, and you wouldn't know until you ask, you know. I think it just
Okay.
differs. Like, yes, because there are teachers, there are people like me who have a Bachelor of Education and who do really terrible at their job. Like, they hate and for especially back in South Africa, like where I worked, you would find
Mhm.
teachers who really hated the profession, and maybe it's because of the environment that they're teaching in, like the lack of resources and all of that. And then, yeah, I came
Mm.
across, like, I have friends who did like certain degrees and then did a PGCE, and they're amazing at their job. So I think it just really just differs from people to people. Yeah.
I like that point of view. I mean, this is why Career and Corporate Hub is very important, to have these important conversations, because I
Mhm.
mean, myself looking at it from a different angle, and now you are educating me. And so, after graduating, where did you go and work? Did you work in South Africa, or you left South Africa immediately?
Yes. So, okay. So this is what happened. So when I graduated, so I went to the University of Zululand where I did my Bachelor of Education in Accounting, Economics, and Business Management. And then
Mhm.
after graduation in 2021, I went back home, and yeah, it was okay. Actually, I went to one interview, right? So I'm home, I'm job seeking. I went to one interview, and I thought I did well, you know, like I thought I did well. I thought I did okay.
I know
and
that
then they were, so-
feeling.
and then they're like, no, the person that we want is this one. And I was like, guys, come on, come on. So from there, I was just head, and I'm like, guys, come on. You said you liked me. I thought you liked me. But it's okay. And then from there, I went back home. I think I stayed a month or two. And then I started a
Mhm.
business. So I started a cooking business back home. And then I opened like a cafe, back in Matsulu, which was doing well. People loved it. And then I think I
Yeah.
did that for almost a year, I think. Yes, for almost a year. And then I was like, okay, it's time to get to work now. I can't have this degree sitting here. Let me try and
Yeah.
run the boat. Like, let me try and run the shop and go to work, you know, because I mean, like, we knock off at 2:15. So I'm like, okay, I can do it. I can do both the shop and the and work. So I got a job. It wasn't really like, I'm calling it a job because I was working as a full-time teacher, but how we got there, it was like an internship of some sort. So I got
Okay.
in at the school, and it was my previous high school. So they had like 10 posts for new teachers, new graduates. And then so I got in, and then I taught there, but I was like, no, guys, I hate this. Like, I really, really hate
What was
this.
wrong? What
So
was wrong? You hated teaching as a whole.
no. I love teaching, right? But
Okay.
I don't know. First, okay, I think for me, like, to be honest, I hated the pay more than anything. You know, I hated the pay because I'm like, I'm working as a full-time teacher and I'm not even getting a quarter of what a qualified teacher is getting, you know? So I'm like,
If I may ask, how much are you getting?
I was getting 4,500 rands, imagine, for a month. Exactly, exactly.
But that's an internship. That's an internship, though.
Yeah, and I'm like, but I'm working as a teacher, a full-time teacher. Like, I have students, I have classes by myself. So I had classes by myself. I had like so when I got to the school, like I told you, so it was the same high school that I went to. So
Mhm.
they didn't just give me like I remember my HOD was like, oh, you are here. You need to take grade 12, assist with grade 12, grade 10, grade 11, you know? So I'm like, okay, I didn't have a problem with it because I mean, like, it was nice to help those kids. But money-wise, I was not happy. Money-wise,
And
I was
how
not.
was that?
Sorry?
How long ago was that?
That was between 2022. Wait, 2022, I think 2022 June. It was a year and a couple of months though. And I left in April. So I left the job in April. So it was like
For
2022
how
to
long?
2023, yes. So it was a year and a couple of months.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that 2022, that's like not so long ago. And looking at the, the value of the currency or money, it's not so long ago. I was earning that amount in I think in 2013,
Imagine
2013 or 14.
I was getting it. It was literally just a stipend, it's a stipend.
Yeah.
Just go and buy some
And
roll on, yourself to work, look okay, look presentable.
exactly. And I left the company because I felt like it was so small. And
And
funny enough,
imagine
when I
that's
left,
2020, that was 2013. So 9 years later, there's people who were still getting that.
yeah, and I got like I think triple of that, when I went to the next company.
That
So
is that is
I
beautiful.
can understand. And now when
Yeah.
you left, what happened? What are you leaving for?
So, all right. Remember, I'm there now. I'm like, no, guys, I don't like this. I don't want to be here. I tell my mom I want to quit. I don't like this. Like, I feel like I should be getting more. Like, I studied for 4 years. I mean, come on. I
Yeah.
studied for 4 years. My business is doing good, but it's not enough because you're just getting it off the ground. So obviously, it's not going to give you that huge amount. And then I'm like, no, I hate it here. I don't like the classes because like there isn't much support also because there's a lot of students, in the classes. Like if you know the situation back home, like most schools,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, especially Matsulu because I'm from the village, like Gabon. So
Mhm.
from Ekasi, like there's so many students, there's just a lot, and also cooperation from them is sometimes hard. Like you get 15 good
Mm.
students in class who want to be there and learn, and then there's 3 4 who are like that's but
I mean, where I come from, I also come from a village, and
Mhm.
the school that my siblings went to, in
Mhm.
one class, you find it has like I think close to 100 or
Really, that's
um,
hard.
15, but it would be a lot of students. So I
Yeah,
can really, I can't
yeah,
relate, but I understand the story because
yeah.
that's how I mean, that's how their school was. Yeah.
So I think my grade nines, because I had grade nine, I think my grade nines were like 74 in one class. And then I had grade eight. Grade eight, excuse me, grade eight was like 70. And then
That's
it is grade 11 because now they start choosing their own subject. So grade 11, they were better. I think I had about 40. Grade 11, I think I had about 40. And then grade 12, I would assist with grade 12, and they were like about 60 something. So that was quite a big number.
you
And
were
remember,
you were a
sorry,
full-time teacher. You were
yeah,
a full-time teacher.
yes. And now remember, I just graduated. I'm so thin, I'm young. I'm like, like what's happening? You find people who are taller than me and who are sometimes older, the grade 12s, some of them were older or who were the same age, I'm like 22, they're like 21, 20. So that person is like almost my age. So yeah, there was that as well. But overall, I think there were good times. There was improvement in the classrooms. Because also we would relate at a level where we're like, okay, I'm young, you are young, let's just do this thing. But I was just not happy with the money. Like the money was the thing that I was
Yeah.
not happy about. So yeah.
So, and then when you then quit, is this then when you moved to Taiwan?
So January. So in August, right, the year before I left, yes. So in August, I came across like a Facebook post
Mm-hmm.
advertising jobs in Taiwan, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I went on YouTube to see other people, like to see people who work abroad. And then I remember I saw this lady who was in South Korea. So I was like, oh, actually, let me try South Korea. And then I saw somebody in China. I was like, I can actually just try China. And then, but then the documentation for these two countries, like South Korea and China, was very hectic. And at the time, we had just come out of COVID. So you'd need like an agency to get you the documentation, right? And I was like, guys, the money that you want from me is the one I'm earning here. Is the one I'm earning here.
Yeah.
And then finally I found Taiwan, and then I learned that in Taiwan, the bureau, they do their own background check. So you just give them your documents and then they'll sort out everything. So yeah, that's how, like, that was the year before. So that was August. I started researching, doing my research, and then I told my family, guys, there's something like this. I want to do this. I'm leaving. They're like, no, people get hijacked. Oh, people do what. You know those chats, you know.
Gosh.
So
I can completely relate. The moment you talk about working abroad, you know, people bring up a lot of stories, and
yeah,
they do happen. But yeah, let me not interrupt.
it's okay. So that, and then I stopped applying, right? Because I'm like, what if, you know? And then December, I was like, no, guys, I'm really leaving. That's when I saw like another post from companies here in Taiwan, like agencies here in Taiwan. And I was like, okay, I'm leaving. I started being serious. I got my police clearance. As soon as I got my police clearance, I think I got my police clearance in November. Yes, I got my police clearance in November or January, somewhere there. I'm not sure, because I remember I had my police clearance in November. And then January, I started the process. I applied, and then 1st of February, I got an interview. So my first interview here was the job that I'm currently doing. So that's the job that I'm currently doing. I work in Taiwan. I work as a teacher. I teach at an elementary school, and that's how I left.
What is elementary school? That's like primary
It's primary that ends in grade 6, because in South Africa, it ends in grade 7. So here it starts from grade kindergarten, and then some schools would have kindergarten, and then some will just start from grade 1 to grade 6. So that will be elementary. And then junior high would be grade 7 to grade 9. And then senior high school will be grade 10 to grade 12.
And how has the experience been, you know, working outside of South Africa? So I think I'm gathering that you actually left your previous job for greener pastures. So now, how has the experience been, you know, outside of your South Africa? I mean, your country, South Africa, different culture. And now you're teaching elementary. You were in high school.
Yeah. So I think the change, I think for me, the change wasn't too hard. Only that now I can't just bring a topic in class, you know, like I'm teaching people like a second language. They don't understand what I say. I don't understand the language that they speak. So that was the hard part, you know, like maybe that's like, you know, like I'm like, it just ends here. Like it just ends at your hi, hello, how are you? Apple, banana, A, R, B, C, you know, like just basics. But it's been amazing because I've been with the school for, it's going to be 2 years next month. So it's really quite interesting. When I moved here, obviously it's different, but I just came with like an open mind. I mean, I came all the way from South Africa. I knew exactly what I was coming here for. I knew it's different from home. The food is going to be different. Everything is going to be different, right? So this is just for me, like I have to go roll with the stone, you know? And then, so yeah, I came here. Obviously, like when you're back home, there are challenges of its own, and here there are challenges of being here. I mean, you're far away from your loved ones, you know, different time zones. And when you get here, there's that jet lag. Sometimes you just pass out, you know, when you just came from home, you just pass out and wake up after 20 hours. You know, that's what happened to me when I first got here. When I first got here, I passed out. I was late for work. I was a mess.
You know, when people talk about jet lag, I never understood what they meant. You know, I understand that you have different time zones, but passing out for like you sleep for like 20 hours. That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is
I slept for
true.
20 hours. Like I passed out,
Yeah.
and because I was so
Yeah.
tired, like I could, and I realized in the morning that I actually did not clean my apartment that well because there was still dust. But because I was just tired, I was like, you know what, I'll see the rest tomorrow. So yeah, that was that. But for the most part of it, it's been amazing. I don't want to lie. I like the freedom that comes with it. Just like the learning experiences that you get. You meet a lot of people. Financial freedom. Like there's so much that come with this job. Like love it so much.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have
And
any.
I like the fact that you said you open-minded, because when I listen to a lot of videos of people who are having a lot of challenges at work outside of their countries, some of the things are the culture, and they're
Mhm,
struggling to adapt to the culture. And one thing that I'm very much thankful for is having to attend like an intercultural training before I went into the workplace,
mhm,
and just learning about the culture. And when you get
mhm.
to the workplace and when things are happening in a specific way, you're like, this is what I learned from the
Yes.
intercultural training. So
Mhm.
how did you navigate yourself? I mean, the culture is completely different. I'm not really sure about Taiwan. However, I'm just like, it's in Asia, and I've got
Yeah.
my Indian colleagues and also Chinese colleagues. When they talk about, for an example, hierarchy is very much respected in Asia. So,
Mhm.
both India and China, like more like if the elder is talking, you don't interrupt. If your manager is talking also, or rather when you go to a meeting, you don't talk, your manager talks, and all there's different things where
This
in South
different
Africa
thing.
different. How did you navigate yourself to, this new perspective, or new outlook?
Okay, so before I came here, I would spend a lot of time on YouTube, right? Trying to learn from other people, trying to see other experts who are here, like people from different countries who are here, just to see what to expect, culture shocks and all of that, so that I got myself in the state that what, okay, this is what is happening where I'm going, but also I was open to say, okay, I also want to have my own experience. And then I
Mhm.
think the biggest thing for me was the work culture, right? Like you say, in South Africa, principally, I'm telling you, say, I think this and this and this.
Thank you.
So in the
Yes.
workplace, I was like, yes, I'm young. That's one challenge that I had. I was like, yes, I'm young, but guys, certain things don't make sense, and we can't keep on saying, because the thing was, wow, this is how it's done in Taiwan, and I'm like, but you need to understand, I'm not Taiwanese. So that was the thing that at the beginning stages, like first 2 months,
Oh,
we would have that. I'm like, but I need you guys to understand that I'm not Taiwanese, and as much as I want to respect the work culture and everything, I also, you
yes.
guys need to meet me halfway because I'm not Taiwanese,
No,
and
no,
I'm
you're in
being
their country.
ridiculous.
You are an invader. You are invading.
No, but like for instance, like you can't say you are going to work. I just want to make like a light example. Okay, for
Mhm.
instance, I want things to make sense. We
Mhm.
are doing this because this will benefit one, two, and three. And this is how we're going to do it. I'm okay with that. But I'm not
Mhm.
okay with we are doing this because this is how things are done. Come on. That was the biggest challenge for me. Like, but I got to
I
talk
do
with my
understand.
director and make them understand what I meant, to say, no, guys, like there's different ways to do one thing. Let's explore them. Let's not do
Mm,
things just because they are done like that.
mm,
Let's just evolve with the times. Let's find other ways. So that was the most challenging thing for me first when I got here. But the living, the food, you just open your mind to new things, to change.
I'm still struggling with the food.
I
I mean,
make
a
my
lot
own
of
food.
oil.
I make my own food.
Mm. I'm struggling with making my own food as well.
Oh, what do you eat?
We eat a lot of Western food. So yeah, my husband likes to also try different restaurants, but
Mhm.
honestly, I struggle. I mean, he orders the most because
Mhm.
he I mean, he tries different things, but for me, I'm just like, I can order the same thing. I can order the same burger. I'm fine with just the same thing. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
really glad, that you spoke about that perspective, that it's more the way you would explain it, because I feel like
Mhm,
a lot of people are not having that conversation. And, one of the things that we also learned to were building a relationship, because, a lot of people in Asia care more about people that are in their close circle. So now, if you are an outsider, you can't just come and impose your own beliefs. So you
mhm,
can, however, try to build, that close circle. And one of the things that I also do, like in my career, is to learn the system, understand how things work, and then
mhm,
when I'm comfortable and I've gotten trust and I've gotten like buy-in from a lot of people, then I
mhm.
can try to sort of like as you're saying, like, okay, guys, let's reason. We can't just say this is how you do things.
This is
Like,
how you do
let's,
things, yes. There's
yeah.
many
So
ways to
I
kill a kid.
yeah, yeah, and for me, there are still a lot of things that really get to me, like maybe accountability. I mean, I'm leading a project, and I would expect that when we've got defined milestones, everyone should be responsible, like defined roles and responsibilities. Everyone should be
Mhm,
responsible for their own things, and you find that you still have to follow someone to say, "Hey, is this done? Hey, is this?" Literally almost every single day, but because of then understanding the culture, you
mhm,
can't
mhm,
allow that to get to you, and you understand that, okay, I'm here to I've got a specific goal that I want to achieve,
mhm,
and once then that is done, then I'll be happy to see it materializing. But really allowing people to get to you, it's just like, no, not my cup of tea, not my cup of
I
tea. And
yeah, I do love their work ethic here. These people work, eh? They work. Do you take the scooter or do you drive?
No, I use a bus. So
Mhm,
our work place has got like a bus for, I think, for expats, or no, the whole, for anyone in the company actually.
mhm,
But the challenge is you are stuck from 7. I'm leaving the house
mhm.
to work. So I get to work just before 7. That's like almost an hour,
That's
and
almost
then
enough.
from
Mhm.
there you work
How's the
until
work?
5.
Like most people, like most experts who come to Asia, they're here to work as teachers, and you're doing something different. You are in engineering. How's that like? How did you get to that also?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Teresa, this is supposed to be about you.
All right, you tell me on Instagram then. But how's it like? How's it like? How long have you been doing it for? And then how is it like?
For me, yesterday was 3 months, but
Oh,
I've
that's
been here
beautiful.
for the last, I think, 6 months now.
Okay.
I mean, you know, working as an engineer has been really amazing. Being part of like a big project, introducing 2 new models. I work in an automotive environment, and
Mm-hmm.
of getting the opportunity. How are
Beautiful.
the
That is
kids?
beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. How are the kids?
The kids are lovely, man. You know, kids are just kids. Kids are innocent. You
Uh,
get the naughty ones. For me, like it's just that like you get the ones who want to learn English. You get the one who don't want to learn English, who don't like English at all. Because I mean, they only learn the English like for that 40 minutes with you. And then after that, it's just Chai. They go home back to Chinese, they go to their classes. Because I teach in a public school. So most public schools, like, they are not like a bilingual program. So what a bilingual program would do here is that you teach like all their subjects in English. For instance, they would do their science in English. They would do
like my
math
kids.
in English. Sorry?
My kids are, I think, in a bilingual school, a
Oh,
private
yeah,
school, basically.
that's
Yeah.
nice. So no, Tinalana, if it's a government school, it's not likely for it to be a bilingual program. But there are government schools where like they have a bilingual program. But most government schools is still like Chinese, right? Because a bilingual program would need like now more foreign teachers. Would need
Mm,
you would need like a math foreign teacher. You would need, and it's a school, so you'd need a lot of teachers. So that's a lot of money. So now they just do the English in my classroom for that 40 minutes once a week. So it's not really effective like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
we're trying, and then they do go to their after school, like their cram
Mm.
schools, the after schools where they learn more English, and then they are the ones who go to international schools, so they speak fluent English, they understand, you can hold the conversation. But there are also students in my classroom where I can speak, we can speak, and then we can try to help the others. So it's beautiful. The kids are lovely, man. The kids are lovely. It
Yeah.
wasn't, I thought it was going to be hard, like from teaching teenagers to now teaching like little kids, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm looking at somebody who would also like to get the same opportunity, would like to
Mhm.
go teach internationally. I'm sure like the fear is, these kids can't speak English at all. Would I be successful as a teacher to be able to get them to a specific level? Because what I also heard is that the expectations are quite high from the parents, that they want the kids to be speaking English, and yet you only have like one class a day. So what would you say to them, the guys who would like to also follow the same path?
I mean, like at the end of the day, like if you teach something, your job is to teach that. So how you know it's successful is if at the end of the day there's like one or two kids, then your work wouldn't be in vain, right? So you can only do so much. You can only try, and other schools do understand that other expectations are very hard. Like luckily I don't deal with the parents because I'm at a public school and they have their homeroom teachers, and I only see them once. But the other ones who like teach every day, they see the same kids. For instance, kindergarten, you'll be in class with the same kids the whole day, and I guess that's where the expectations come from. But I think you just keep on trying. Even if it's just A, B, C, D that they know. You just keep on trying. You just try. You reason with the parents. You invite them to the class if you need to, so that they can see what the kids are doing. You invite them to your classes. You teach. Sometimes you tell them their progress. Like this communication book. You'll tell them their progress. Please help them revise 1, 2, and 3. So you just try to work with both the parents and the teachers and the kid. You try to get the co-teachers, like the teachers in the school, to intervene to say, guys, but you see what we're dealing with. It's impossible. But you just keep on trying. Try different things. You try songs. Today it's a song. Tomorrow this and that. It's a worksheet. You do what you have to do, like to get the job done. You just try so many different things. you know.
And and,
Yeah.
and, and I mean, looking at I had not seen a lot of male teachers in the lower grades.
Mm.
um I'm sure it can be challenging as well, because like more, I mean, looking at my past, like it was only females, like grade
Mhm.
grade one, grade two.
Mhm.
How is that for you? I mean, when I saw my son's teacher, he's also a male teacher and he's doing
Mhm.
grade two. So
Mhm.
it was also like, I wonder how it is for him. How is it for you?
I mean, like times are changing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
remember, this is something I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with standing in front of people, teaching. I have nieces and nephews, like which I love so much, and there's quite a lot of them, So I'm comfortable around kids. You don't need to do much, really. Like there isn't much. Kids will just love you anyway, as long as you are there and you do things the way that you're supposed to do. It hasn't been hard for me. I think the only hard thing was, how do I engage with like a 10-year-old? How do I reason with a 10-year-old? How do I get them to speak just outside of the classroom? Because that's what I love. I want us to speak outside of the classroom. We don't need to like just let's speak about something else, what's happening around the world. But now it's not just the age, it's also the language barrier. So that was the only challenge for me. But being like a male teacher, like there isn't much. I mean, there's not much that we're doing, honestly. Like we're just teaching, and which is not a gender role. So we're just teaching. It's fun.
Yeah, that's actually true. I mean, I'm asking this question, and when you're explaining it, I'm thinking, but this is actually a stupid question because,
It's not.
in my role, no, I'm saying
It's not,
in
because
my
my
role,
teachers, also my grade 1 and grade 2 teachers were made. I think maybe it comes from the point that, like women generally, like they have so much care. You know, they would nurture like something. You know,
Yes.
but you know the
Yes.
times that we're growing in now. You know, like gender roles are now like are becoming like you know a
Trust
thing of
me.
the past. You know, like
Now my colleagues, some of my colleagues, experts, the
mm,
wives are working, the husbands are at
the
home.
husbands at
So
home. You know, like yeah. I
that's
mean, like
really,
yeah,
really interesting. Yeah.
yeah, we're just teaching. It's all good vibes, really. It's all, and most of my friends, not my friends, most of the people that I work with here, you'd find that the most males are in elementary school.
Mm.
Yeah,
That
most males
that's it.
are in elementary
An
school.
eye opener. An eye opener. Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you learning Chinese? I know. I tried. I've been going through like I've done few classes. And funny enough, one of my suppliers at
Hmm.
work, does not speak English at all, at all. And this is somebody that I have to like explain technical
Communicate with.
drawings.
Hmm. Well, so for me, like I do try. I do try. Like I don't go to a specific place to learn Chinese. So I learn, I
Mhm.
take bits and pieces from my students. All my students love to teach me Chinese, eh? So most of the things I know, I actually know from my students. They would just come across me like I think the first word I remember one of my kids was like Dwepuchi, Dwepuchi. And I was like, he's like, sorry, in Chinese it's Dwepuchi. And then from there I was like, okay,
Oh,
Dwepuchi, I got it. And then another one would come uh, would say something that means I'm hungry, and then from there, you know, like so that's most of the time I learn from my students and I learn from my colleagues as well. Like during lunch, we would
mm.
sit and then I'd ask what's this in Chinese, but it's hard to go and learn because like even the characters are hard to read. You know, like it's just hard. It's very
But you
hard.
can do, hey, what is it? Pinyin, where you can read. They're not using characters; they're using like letters.
Oh
But
yes, 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 yes,
yeah,
yes. I can try. I
that's
can.
that's what I learned. But yeah, I think the tones have been just a bit hard for me. I mean, I've got a teacher, and this month I said, work is hectic. Can we please take a break? We'll continue next month. Yeah,
It's very hard. It's very
it
hard.
is.
Very
It
hard.
is.
It's very.
As we're concluding, I would like to
Mhm.
also find out what this opportunity has brought for you. You
Mhm.
left because of the salary. How is the salary now? Are you happy? And what opportunities did this, like what opportunities this did? Oh my
Mhm.
God. It's late at night.
It's
It's my
late.
sleeping time. Oh, yeah,
So
like, mhm.
obviously, I went from a 4,500. You can't do anything with a 4,500 or like a 4,500, really.
Yeah.
So back home, so just before I left, my dad passed away. He was like the breadwinner, and then it was just me.
Yeah.
It's okay. And then I came here, so now there's nobody else who's working at home. So this job has like really offered me like, you know, when I say freedom, like I can still like I can take care of my family, I can travel, I can save, you know. There's also money to save. I live a comfortable life. I'm okay with the life that I'm living. So I think the best thing that this job was did for me was the financial freedom before all this traveling and what, just the financial freedom, you know, like you're able to do things, not just for me, I'm also able to do things for my family, you know, I'm able to assist where I can. And yeah, so that has
Yeah.
been, the financial freedom has been interesting, really.
No, that's great to hear. And really looking at traveling, when you're in South Africa and when you're outside of South Africa, traveling is completely different.
Yes.
During, when the holidays are coming up, the question in the office is, where are you traveling to? Which
Yeah.
country? I was
Mhm.
like literally nothing that back home, if you like, during long holidays, the question is, are you going to go home?
You know, I mean, like
Yeah.
it becomes hard. It becomes hard
Yeah.
traveling in South Africa, like especially when you're a teacher. I feel like even if you are not a teacher, even outside of teaching, when you're in South Africa, traveling is very hard because one, for instance, like from around my area, I didn't know people who would go and study abroad. I didn't know people who would work abroad. Like it's not every day you see people, traveling outside of South Africa. We're always going to Johannesburg. We are going to Pretoria. We're going to Cape Town. Even Cape Town is hard. Like I was in South Africa like my whole life, but I was only able to go to Cape Town just now. Now that I'm like working. So I think just the traveling in South Africa is hard, especially like if you're working as a teacher, like there's so much that you need to do. You still like you need a house, a car. There's probably people that you're taking care of. You're probably studying further. There's no enough money to stretch.
So we are coming to the end of our interview, and I really, really enjoyed. I don't want this interview to end, but unfortunately, it has to come to an end. I'm sure that we should probably have a follow-up interview. I would like to also understand more about the process, or rather, if maybe you've done it in your channel, then we can direct people to go to your channel. I'll put the handle of the channel here so that if you want to watch his videos, then you can go watch there. And I think before I left, sorry about that, we're talking about traveling, that this opportunity has really opened up a lot of opportunities for you, like traveling. And sometimes also in South Africa, looking at the opportunities for traveling, although you've got the means to do it, the mindset is not that open. Trust me. Get like my colleagues as well, when more especially like the ones from Germany, they usually, when they're studying, they usually go maybe for 6 months to study outside of their country. So there's that as well. And you're like, when you talk to people about different things, just like, okay, we're learning.
Yeah, you also feel like, when you grow up, you also feel like some things are not like are out of reach. Even for me, like teaching abroad, I also like I didn't even think of it. It's not something like I was thinking of. So you think certain things are just too much out of reach for you because you're from Ekasi, from Emakaya, such things don't really happen. You don't see them every day. So yeah. that is true.
And I like that, when you say that, because there's quite a lot of negativities around working outside of your country, that it can also discourage you. And I also had the same thing when, my husband got the opportunity and I was looking for a job. I literally had 3 months to look for a job, because I didn't want to stay at home. And I didn't want to stay at home. And I was told that you are not going to get any opportunities, like literally left, right, and center. People were saying that. And these were people that I trusted, people that were supposed to advocate for me. And didn't listen to the naysayers. And I talk about interviews for a living, for also for part of my my passion. And looking for a job, then I knew how to alter my CV. And here I am. So anyone who's watching, I would really encourage that you should go for those opportunities.
Just like there's nothing you cannot do. Just pack your life in a suitcase, make sure you do your proper research, and fly.
It's crazy though. Like, oh my God.
It is. There's also just a lot of self-doubt as well that comes within you. Like, are you gonna be doing? Like, are you gonna be able to do this? But I think for me, most part, like when you start researching and then you find people like you on YouTube, you're like, oh, there are people who really look like me who are doing this. There are people from Emakaya like me, or even other parts of South Africa who are doing this and they are thriving. So can I.
Yeah. No, that's true. It really. That's why these conversations are very important, because quite an eye opener. And when I also started this channel, I was looking at information like about careers, how to choose a career, how to do this, how to do that, and I didn't find much information. And I thought, well, I can start it myself.
That is beautiful. Good, like kudos on you for that. That is beautiful.
Thank you. So we can conclude. Is there anything that you would like to add, to the audience, to like people that are watching, that can be helpful in their career, more
Mhm.
especially the ones who want to move abroad?
So I think for me, like if you want to move abroad, just have like, just have an open mind. Things are not going to be, yes, the grass, like definitely the grass, like in so many ways, it's greener, but don't expect it to be green all the time. Just like in South Africa, you are going to find challenges. You are going to face challenges here as well. You just need to come with an open mind. Do your research. Make sure you're not sending money to anybody because most of these jobs you don't need to pay anyone. You don't just make sure you do thorough research. Ask people. There are people like even if you go to Ireland, there are people from South Africa who are there. Try to find people. Try to
Mm,
do your own research. YouTube, Google. Ask around if it's really something that you want to do. Ask around, make sure you have the right information. If other people are doing it, so can you. Like you can do it as well. Just make sure you have the right channels, you have the right papers, you have everything in order, and just spread your wings, man. Just fly.
Oh, thank you so much, Tabisa. That is really, really amazing and also an eye opener. So you had it, and we'll meet again with another episode. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Uh, yeah, be kind and gentle. Bye bye.
Be kind and gentle. Bye bye.